Hey there everybody, Boyd here with you and welcome back. This is part 20 of our 1/350 scale Polar Lights Enterprise refit build, and we're out here working in the shop today. I've got my new helper out here with me today. His name is Jeremy. How you doing there, Jeremy?
Pretty good.
Well, Jeremy's helping me out with these models. He's doing a great job. Tell us what you're working on there, Jeremy.
Working on the saucer of the Enterprise, just the refit.
All right, and you're putting on the sidewalls, right?
Yes.
Go ahead and put that on there and show us how you do that. Jeremy's doing a really good job with this, you guys. He's working really hard. He's picking this up really fast. He's got really good hands for this. And you can see he's concentrating on getting the edges of the walls lined up really nice and smooth like we talked about a while back on our other video. And now he's just removing some of the glue from that. Let's get a little up close shot of this here for you. Well, you can see that's looking really good, Jeremy. Great job.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys. Yeah, it's looking really nice. Good job. What we're going to be doing next is Jeremy's going to get this set up over on the spray booth area, and we're going to be applying our plastic coat adhesion promoter on the top of the model here, on the top of the saucer, and then he's going to be doing some primer work on it. So it's really coming out nice. You can see we've got a lot of other stuff going on here in the shop today. We're working on the Reliant, and we got our lighting kit in from Ralph at Tenant Controls for our 1/1000 scale Enterprise TOS. And I'm going to take you over to the bench here in just a minute. We're going to be working on that one, getting the trenches cut into the pylons to make sure we can fit our wiring in there. And then we've got our little Atreides trader frigate from the movie Dune we're working on as well. Jeremy did a great job doing the windows on that one. Kind of show them what you've been doing on that, Jeremy. Yeah, you can see we've got all these drilled out now, and what we're going to be doing is going back and he's drilled the pilot holes in there, and I'm going to be coming back and opening those up all the way, and we'll have our windows done, and then we're going to be able to start getting ready to seal this up. We'll glue the little wings on top that you can see sitting right there, and we'll get those fitting on there really nice, and then we're going to have this all sealed up and ready to do our putty and paint. See that, guys? He's already picked this up. He already saw how that wing fits on there. So great job, Jeremy, and you guys can get used to seeing Jeremy here helping me out with all this stuff. Okay, guys, we'll be back in a second. You can see we've got our saucer ready to go. We're going to let that glue sit up for just a little while, and then we'll take you back over to the bench and we'll show Jeremy applying our adhesion promoter and the primer. So we'll see you that one just a second, everybody. Okay, everybody, well, we're back with you again, and you can see Jeremy's ready to start working on our saucer here. Jeremy, tell everybody what we've done to the saucer so far and what you're getting ready to do.
Well, we modified our bridge and moved it forward a little bit, and we worked on our lounge window there, got it all ready to go.
Yep, we worked in that photo etch part there. It looks great.
And now
what are you going to be doing now? You're using this adhesion promoter. Tell us what that does.
Well, this actually makes the paint stick, so when we do our masking for our Aztecs, it helps it stay on.
Okay, great. Okay, Jeremy, let her rip, and let's see how you put that stuff on there. See, he's just putting a nice even coat on that, guys. You don't have to put that stuff on there too thick. We've showed you this before. Alright, just make sure you get a little bit around the edges there where the windows are, Jeremy, and we'll be good to go. Excellent. All right. Okay, good job, man. What we're going to do is we're going to come back now, everybody. You can see we've got a nice coat of this down on that. We're going to come back in just a second, and we're going to put down our primer on this next. All right? So we'll see you with that in just a second. Okay, everybody, we're back with you again, and Jeremy's getting ready to put our primer on this now. And I wanted to show you guys that real quick. We've put our impulse deck on there, and we've glued it in place. We've sealed that seam with some canopy glue and let that dry so we don't have any light leaks. And you can see we sprayed some black around that first to make sure we're not going to have any light leaks coming through. That's a clear part. Now we're going to go ahead and spray our primer over that. Okay, Jeremy, tell everybody what you're getting ready to do here.
We're just getting ready to prime it down. We just want to use our tack rag to make sure we don't got no dust on it before we spray it down, keep the dirt out.
That's right. And that's important to do that between every step of your paint, guys, like we talked about, so we don't have any dust or anything in it. Okay, Jeremy, fire up that primer and let's see what you got. You can see that Jeremy's using the heat gun there. Just real lightly after he puts a light coat of primer on there, just like we always show you. Make sure that we get a nice coat on there and we don't put it on too thick. It's looking really good. Really nice job there, buddy. You can see how he's just putting light coats on this, guys. You don't want to pile your primer on there way too thick. Just put a little bit at a time and let it dry, just like he's doing there. Really nice. Just takes a little while, everybody. Just got to be patient with it. How's it looking to you there, Jeremy?
Getting nice and solid around there. Nice and smooth.
Really looks good. You can see there, guys, that we did the same thing on this saucer. We removed the phaser banks. See, those are missing. We sanded that all out really smooth, and we'll paint that detail back on there later and make that correct like the studio model. Turn the saucer a little bit this way, Jeremy. I want to see how our officer's lounge windows are looking pretty good. Get that officer's lounge up here with a little bit more primer. Okay. Yep. You can see that we got just a little line showing on the one side there. We're going to have to putty it. Don't hold that gun too long in one place. He's already really smooth with his hands, guys. As you can see here, he's doing really good with this. He's picking this whole thing up really fast. How you like doing this stuff, Jeremy?
It's pretty fun.
So here we have the engine nacelles ready to go, guys. You can see I've been working on the wiring of this. I'm going to explain what I did here for you guys. You can see that starting out at the top here, I've got a strip of LED lighting here. This is a single density strip of blue LEDs. And you notice that I mounted these on the top above the chiller grill facing away from them. And the effect that we're going to be getting here is we're going to bounce this light over towards the white painted area on this side of the nacelle and bounce that back towards the chiller grill. And what we're going to do is we're going to not have any hot spots with our lighting because of that. And that's going to work out really well. You can see here that I've also been working on this side here. I've got a 3mm white LED mounted here for the forward flood lamp that faces towards the rear of the saucer and illuminates the saucer edge. On this side I used an SMD and I angled it just right so that it'll give a flood lamp effect down onto the side of our secondary hull. The reason I decided to use an SMD on this side and an LED on this side is that we only have to go a short distance to get some light to the saucer. It's really close to the edge there, and an LED will do that, but casting light down further, these SMDs are better for floodlights because they don't have a lens over the top and they'll project light out quite a bit farther. So we're going to get more of a flood lamp effect down onto the side of our secondary hull with an SMD, and I've got this angled to where it'll light that. Now after I get these all put together and painted and everything, I'll put a little dab of microcrystal clear in this little hole here, so it'll look like we've got a little lens in there and it won't affect our lighting at all. But you can see I've got our chiller grill in here now. These have been painted. I painted these black, and then I covered over them with some of this iridescent. I mixed some red and some blue iridescent here to give this nice purple effect over the top, and I blocked this out here in the back with some black because we have a little cutoff here at the rear that we're used to seeing. And I've got to dust these off a little bit. They got a little bit of dust and stuff on them, but we're going to put a coat of clear over these before we finalize this here. But you can see these have all been painted on the outside now, and they're all light blocked. Here you can see that what I did here to get our Raytheon lighting is that I put a piece of masking tape over this before I did my light blocking, so we've got bare plastic right here. Then I pulled my tape off after I did all my light blocking, and I just took my airbrush and went around it in sort of an oval shape here to give it sort of a shadow effect. And that's how we get that nice Raytheon look for our registry numbers that are on the back half of our nacelle here. And you can see to get the lighting there, what I've done here is I've got a 5mm LED in place, and that's going to illuminate both sides of this. And I use this piece of sprue here, and I mounted the LED so it's sort of suspended right in the middle in between both halves here. We didn't want it too close to that side, and we didn't want it too close to that side, so it illuminates both of those equally. Now, I sanded this LED down all the way around on the lens here, because what that does is normally an LED will kind of focus its light out the tip, and we wanted it to illuminate kind of all around in kind of a halo here. So when you sand these down, that will make that LED do that. Here you can see we've got a 1.8mm lighthouse LED. That means it has a little bit of a tip on it. That's just barely, not even sticking up above our hole here. You can just see it's kind of like almost flush with the hole. This is for our strobe light here at the rear that flashes at the equal rate as the strobe on the belly and up at the bridge. And then we've also got two more SMDs here. One is mounted in facing towards this little slit, so we get a little bit of light coming out, flooding out onto the outside of the chiller grill here. And the other one is for the little crystal that goes on the top, just behind the Bassard scoops here at the front of the nacelles. Now before I close this up, I'm going to take a little bit of Tamiya transparent blue and dab it on that SMD. And then we'll also paint the clear part, the crystal itself that goes in there with that transparent blue, and we'll get some nice blue lighting coming out of there. No need to use a blue SMD. You can just use a regular white one, and that'll work just fine. Here you can see coming out through a little slit here, we've got the little tail fin that mounts onto the side of the nacelle here, and it has our thruster port here at the very tip. I've got a warm white SMD here mounted for that, which we're going to dab a little bit of our transparent yellow Tamiya onto this, and that'll illuminate nice and yellow, and we'll have our little yellow lighting effect there going at the tip. So that's pretty much all. Now you can see I've got three separate circuits here, guys. I've got one for the strobe light, one for the chiller grill, and one for the power. When I turn on the power here, you're going to see that right now I've got the chiller grill connected to the power just so I could light it, but that will be a separate circuit that we can activate the chiller grill lighting with a separate switch that you'll see on the display stand when we start wiring this all up. But so when the power comes on, we're just going to have our floodlights here at the front, our little thruster here at the rear, and our crystal here at the top, and that's all we'll have. And then I can push a separate switch, and the chiller grill lighting will come on. We'll also have the strobe light flashing as soon as we turn the power on, because that's connected directly to the Tenant Controls control board. So that's how that's going to work, guys. Very simple, very straightforward. I've got three separate circuits coming out of the pylon, so when we get ready to mount these, we'll just connect them all up, tuck the wiring down into the pylon as we close into the pylon, and just slide everything into place and close it up. So that's pretty much it for this, guys. What I'm going to be doing next in the next video is we're going to seal these up, and we're going to do our putty work around the edges, and then we're going to do all of our Aztec painting on that, and that's a lot of work. One thing I want to mention here, guys, is that when we glue these chiller grills in, we want to make sure that I'm going to use some canopy glue all the way around the edges of this really liberally, and we can wipe off the excess, but we want these to be glued in really, really solid, guys, because as it's been mentioned before, when you're going to be working on the sanding and putting and everything when we do the assembly, it's a natural habit to try to grip these things in the middle. And if it's not glued in very well, you're going to wind up pushing that grill inside, and you might have your half of your putty work done or whatever, and that would be a disaster. So again, we want to make sure that we have that all in there nice and solid. I'll probably use a couple spots of hot glue on it here and there too to reinforce it. So we want to make sure that that chiller grill is in there really solid. Okay guys, so that's a wrap for what we've done on the nacelles here. The other one is set up exactly the same way, and I hope that'll help you out when you go to set yours up. Let's head back over to Jeremy here and talk to him and see what he got accomplished on the saucer today, and then we're going to wrap this video up, guys, so we'll be back in just a second with that. Okay everybody, we're back with you again, and you can see that Jeremy's finished up priming the saucer here, and we've got a little bit of putty work we had to do around the officer's lounge after we primed it that we could see. Tell us how everything went on this thing today, Jeremy.
It's going pretty good. We're making a lot of progress. Like you said, we got it all sanded and primed. Just a little bit of fixing right there to do next. And on around the sides here, we got a little bit of putty to put on to seal up the seams.
Okay, and what do we got going on over here next?
We got some photo etching to do around this arboretum, and we're going to start working on the main hull the next time.
All right, great. Well, you can see our saucer's looking really good here, guys. We forgot to tell you, Jeremy's nickname at the shop here is going to be Sir Sandsalot, and he'll move up from Sir Sandsalot to Sir Paintsalot here coming pretty soon, guys. He's doing really good, and with his help, we're going to be able to knock out a lot of models here in the shop, so I'm really happy about that. And Jeremy, you had a good day, man. So we'll see you back here tomorrow with some more work on these models, right?
Yes, sir. Learning from the best.
No, I appreciate that. Okay, buddy. Well, thanks for helping out today, and hope you guys out there will give Jeremy a big welcome here on the channel. He's going to be around here quite a bit, and he's doing a great job already, everybody. So that's going to be a wrap for this one, everyone. We'll see you next time for part 21 of our Polar Lights Enterprise refit build, and we're also going to be taking you back to all these other models that we're working on here. We'll show you some more work on the Reliant and the little Dune Atreides frigate, and we'll go from there. So take care, everybody, and happy modeling, everyone. See you next time, Jeremy.